Hey guys, in the future, humanity erected Kepler 822, a research and drilling station located in the ocean abyss, to discover if there were still sources of depleted fossil fuels. Mechanical engineer Nora is going about her morning routine, unexpectedly interrupted by flickering lights and a small leak. Suddenly, Nora faces an unstoppable force from the ocean invading the station, and racing against the clock. She tries to warn her colleagues to take shelter in the decompression capsule. Only Rodrigo manages to reach it, and Nora needs to open the computer and force its activation. She proves to be agile in solving engineering problems, although she manages to. 2 crew members are left behind, as a significant part of the station has erupted, and there is no way to save them. Determined to escape, Nora and Rodrigo embark on the search for evacuation modules. And amidst debris and darkness, they encounter a crew member named Paul, who, after rescuing him, joins the group in the fight for survival. Together, the 3 crawl through a confined space, finding the bodies of dead friends, and finally reach the evacuation module compartment, where Captain Lucian stayed behind, while the others escaped in the evacuation modules. While Nora uses a computer to unlock the door, Lucian sends Paul and Rodrigo to check the submarines. Once it is open, Lucian sends her to the control room, and the other guys report that the submarines are not working. In the control room, Nora finds biologist Emily and engineer Liam, who are married, and as the other 3 join them, Emily explains that the accumulated energy in the station has nowhere to go and could cause a meltdown at any moment. Unable to contact the surface, Lucian proposes that they move to another station called Roebuck 641, which will require them to use pressurized suits and walk miles without knowing what they will find. Of course, the crew hates the idea, but Liam plays a recording of the last transmission from the drilling site, indicating that the men were being attacked by the same mysterious noise as before, and the temperature outside also rose by 10 degrees, which makes no sense because at that depth, it would be impossible. But with no other option, they agree to go to Roebuck, and the crew begins to prepare with the suits. Emily is worried because she has never dived before, and no one has ever walked outside for more than 10 minutes. Paul, always laid back, makes sure to bring his stuffed animal friend with him, and Rodrigo checks the last 2 helmets, chooses one and gives the other to Nora. Due to the noises they heard in the recording, Liam decides to grab a weapon before heading out, and Paul does the same. When everyone is ready, they enter the elevator, and Liam warns that the external hatch has been shredded, so the pressure will hit them forcefully. Fissures begin to appear in Rodrigo's helmet, and Nora notices, so she tries to tell Liam not to open the door. But it's too late. The water comes in with tremendous pressure, hitting Rodrigo's helmet, and it implodes his head and body, killing him instantly. There's no time to linger, and they need to move forward, so they jump into a cargo elevator and descend, and Nora feels responsible because Rodrigo knew his helmet was damaged, and deliberately gave her the last good one. As the elevator takes them down, they receive a distress signal from one of the modules. So thinking they could rescue other survivors, Lucian sends Paul and Liam to investigate, and Paul makes sure to hand the bunny to Emily before leaving, asking her to take care of his friend. While descending, Nora engages in a memory exercise with the captain and Emily to ease the tension. However, it's dark outside, and the platforms are unstable, but the men continue to follow Nora's orders. The same strange noises from before can be heard here too, and they discover that the module imploded and is covered with a type of organism similar to algae. They also find a body, but since there's no one to save, Lucian orders them to return, but Paul doesn't listen. He's distracted by something strange on the back of the dead body, which suddenly moves and attacks him. Liam shoots the creature, and moments later, they bring it inside the elevator. Emily examines it, noting its claws and mouths used for feeding, but she can't find the eyes, and she explains the possibilities of having now encountered a new species. However, at that moment, the elevator loses power and stops moving, and the noises from before can be heard from outside. Paul realizes that the creature they captured is actually a baby, so he tightly closes the door. Nora manages to deactivate the elevator, but for some reason, it still isn't moving. Suddenly, an adult creature emerges, and the entire Kepler station explodes, and the elevator starts plummeting out of control. The group hurries and puts their helmets back on until they reach the seafloor, and they barely manage to exit in time. Once outside, they need to keep moving quickly because the station debris is falling around them. Liam is hit, but Lucian and Nora save him and help him reach a station where they discover that the oxygen purifier is broken. Nora forces open a control panel to contact a transporter, while they hear the creatures roaring outside. They are forced to stop the transporter because the tunnel is flooded, so they continue walking and find more wreckage blocking the path. Nora volunteers to dive and search for a new exit, and there is a path under the debris that appears to be tight but still large enough for everyone to pass through. Lucian connects everyone on the team with wires, and they cross without any issues. But Paul says he saw something behind him and stays behind. They manage to pull him, but as soon as he removes his helmet, his wire starts being pulled from the other side. Paul hands over his stuffed rabbit, puts the helmet back on, and the team tries their best to hold on to him, but it's too late. The creature tears him out of the suit and kills him instantly. The group flees to a communication room, where Lucian tries to call for help, but without success. Liam sees the shadow through the window and asks how this is possible. Emily responds that it's because they were digging too deep in the ocean and awakened something that now seeks revenge. Lucian realizes that the window is starting to crack, and they can't stay there for long. But they are concerned about Liam because his suit is damaged. Even though he insists on staying, everyone refuses to leave him behind and agrees to help him. The four venture out to cross the ocean floor, but it doesn't take long for a creature to emerge, swimming around them. They turn off their suit lights to avoid attracting attention, but it doesn't help. The creature reappears and captures Liam, taking him into a cave. However, as they can still see his foot at the entrance, Lucian enters the cave and finds Liam alive, so he starts pulling him. Lucian rescues him and goes back into the cave to retrieve his weapon, but the creature finds him and takes him to the depths, dragging Nora because she is tethered to Lucian by the wires. Nora lands on a platform, and Lucian gets stuck on the edge. She intends to help him, but the creature emerges and approaches, putting its mouth on her helmet. Lucian jumps on the creature, then drags it with him as they descend deeper into the ocean. The pressure will kill them in seconds, so Lucian sacrifices himself and disconnects his suit from Nora, causing her to drift away before he implodes at the bottom of the sea. Nora loses consciousness for a moment, and when she wakes up, she discovers that her suit is damaged. After being startled by an octopus, she escapes, finds a door, and enters the abandoned shepherd station. She mourns the loss of her captain and then changes clothes and checks the place. She tries to send a message to Emily, but it doesn't work. However, she finds a map at the drilling site in Lucian's old locker, and determined to survive, she puts on a different suit she finds, grabs a flare, and heads back into the depths of the sea, seeking to find the other station as they had planned. She is following the markings when she starts to hear Emily's voice, so she hurries toward Emily, who makes her run too, thinking Nora is one of the monsters. Nora jumps on her and reassures her, saying she's very happy that she survived and kept Liam alive. Together, they drag Liam along the floor as they continue to walk, keeping their minds occupied with a memory exercise. And so, they finally find the station that is illuminated, seeming like everything is functioning, and upon entering, they discover a nest of these creatures suspended from the ceiling, supposedly sleeping or hibernating. After turning off the lights on their suits, the two try to move stealthily, but Emily's oxygen alarm starts to sound. One of the creatures wakes up and grabs Nora, who tells Emily to grab Liam and run towards the door, but the creature starts swallowing Nora. Then she shoots from inside with the flare gun and manages to escape. However, the other creatures begin to awaken, and Nora prepares for another shot, but she notices that the creatures are being guided by something colossal and roaring. Nora shoots her signal pistol into the distance and discovers that there is a larger monster approaching. In reality, this creature is an ancient Cthulhu, one of the prehistoric beings that lived at the bottom of the ocean. Then she starts running, and Cthulhu lands behind her, causing an explosion that leaves her unconscious. Fortunately, she is rescued by Emily, who grabs her and takes her inside the station, and Nora is running out of oxygen in her suit, but her helmet is stuck, so Emily grabs a fire extinguisher, breaks the helmet, and Nora starts breathing again. So after Liam exits his suit, the three run through the corridors until they find the control room, where they can now see the monster and its creatures through the window. The station is slowly flooding, and several doors are being locked by the emergency system, but they manage to find their way, dodging some approaching waves, and there are 3 modules waiting for them, but only 2 of them are working. Nora doesn't warn the couple about this, and puts Liam in the first module, sending him off with Paul's bunny. Then it's Emily's turn, but she refuses to enter when she learns about the other non-functioning module. As time is running out, Nora forces Emily into the module, telling her that everything will be fine, and sends her out. Nora has accepted her fate but starts to worry when she realizes that the creatures are going after the couple. Nora then devises a plan, recalling Emily mentioning that the station has a lot of accumulated energy. Nora uses the computer to initiate an overload in the station's nuclear base, causing a massive explosion that not only kills her, but also the Cthulhu and its creatures, and the modules manage to escape safely. Days later, various news reports about the event and reports stating that all information is classified as confidential, and no one is authorized to speak with the survivors. All surveillance recordings were destroyed by the damage, and the company refuses to assist the government in the investigation as they plan to rebuild and continue drilling. And thus concludes Underwater, the 2020 science fiction film. Tell us in the comments what you would do if you were trapped at the bottom of the ocean. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. This was Nerd Session, and I'll see you in the next video.